We don't need this oil.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our coffee break demo. Today, we're looking at Outsource Your Worries, Payroll Managed Services Unveiled with our presenter, Francesca Owen. Please ask any questions throughout using the Ask the Speaker panel and join us at the end for our live Q&A session. Thank you. I'll now pass over to Francesca.
Thanks, Sandra. So before we get started with today's webinar, I just want to give a little bit of context into what we do at the Access Group. So I'm part of the People division, and in the People division we do everything to do with your HR, payroll, all your employees basically life cycle at a business. With that, everything integrates. We've done a webinar part of this series which you are able to go back and watch on demand if you so choose, about the integration between payroll and between HR, but all of these other solutions do also integrate as well. So your engagement, your employee benefits and rewards integrate with your HR system as well, and also does your LMS, learning, things like health and safety, all integrates through the HR system as well. Let's move into the video. Today we're going to discuss our managed payroll service here at the Access Group using a software called PayCircle.
So I'm going to talk us through a little bit about our managed payroll service before I jump into the software to show a demonstration. So Access Payroll Services is part of the Access Group, and really that is a combination of two things. The same way if you were to have your payroll in-house, you've got the software that you're going to use, and you've got the person that's going to be doing it. And when we're looking at our managed service, it's really about a combination of the best of both of those things. So we're talking about world-class software and also a world-class service as well. So Access, we are one of the largest tech companies in the UK. We actually won Tech Company of the Year last year, so that's just a little bit of proof is in the pudding. We're doing good things. We are a big company. You can put our trust in us. In terms of the actual service itself, so Access is Payroll Bureau. So I'm going to talk us through a little bit about our managed payroll service before I jump into the software to show a demonstration. So Access Payroll Services is part of the Access Group, and really that is a combination of two things. The same way if you were to have your payroll in-house, you've got the software that you're going to use, and you've got the person that's going to be doing it. And when we're looking at our managed service, it's really about a combination of the best of both of those things. So we're talking about world-class software and also a world-class service as well. So Access, we are one of the largest tech companies in the UK. We actually won Tech Company of the Year last year, so that's just a little bit of proof is in the pudding. We're doing good things. We are a big company. You can put our trust in us. In terms of the actual service itself, so Access is Payroll Bureau. With decades of payroll processing experience, we're currently, this is from 2023, these stats, so well over 2,000 customers served by Access Payroll Services, processing £6 billion worth in backs, and 2 million payslips per annum. So we're not a small operation by any means, and we do know what we're doing. You can really put your trust in our team members. We were the first payroll provider to get 100% pass accreditation. That means that basically they couldn't recommend one thing that we could do better when they looked at our bureau in how we run payroll, things that we can do. There was not one suggestion. Every single one of our team members is either CIP or IPASS accredited. So it's you are getting a professional looking at your payroll. You are not getting the intern. You can also talk to all these people, which is I'll show you when we go into the system. So you've got direct communication with somebody that knows what your payroll is doing, what's happening with it, and the technical detail behind running a payroll, rather than speaking to an intermediary that then passes that information over. You get direct contact with them as well. Everything's nice and safe and secure. And we do boast a 99% accuracy, and now this is on first run. So it's not somewhere down the line. It is the first time that we run your payroll. We're looking at 99.9% accuracy, and with most packages, we do also look at doing a parallel run included in that. So on our parallel run, we're 99.9% accurate. the way that it's going to work, so with our managed payroll services, you've got you and you've got us, and we've got the portal that we're going to look at sitting in the middle. And this is how you communicate with us. It's how you send us your information, and it's how we send you all your reports for viewing, how you're going to actually get your employees paid through the portal. And we're both having access to that same system, so that we can communicate through it, make things super nice, super clear. And one of the things that you'll see when we look at the demonstration is just how clear it is when we're communicating. So let's jump into the system. I'm going to show what you would see. I'm also going to be in the background rolling on payroll. I'm not going to be entering any information, not going to be doing anything specific, just showing you the process of how this works. So there will be points where I just have to take a second to do something in the background. So when you come to PayCircle, you're going to come to your first login screen. Now, this is completely different to the login screen that any of your employees would see to access their self-serve portals or view payslips, that kind of thing. This is all nice and pink and blue. The employee one is dark green. You can't really confuse the two. But if an employee did try to log into this, it will come up with a pop-up saying, "Are you sure you're not looking for the employee portal instead?" Because it's going to know who's an admin and who's not through our permission rights, which I'll show you in a second. When I sign in, the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get a pop-up, which is going to tell me basically, what do I need to do? When do I need to do it? And how should I perform that operation? It really does mean that anyone logging in to do payroll can process this, even if they've never done it before. So at the top, we've got what's going on. We're in the payroll information stage of doing our payroll. When is that due? So you've set up all your dates as part of implementation. We know what dates we're working to, what date to do our payrolls, our processing back from that, getting all our information together, reporting things in the middle there, and we've set the schedule up. So at the minute, we're looking at the 20th to do this. And what do I need to do next is basically how do I do it? So I'm going to add my files. I'm going to tell my payroll person, any changes that need to be made. And I'm going to do that through clicking the add button and using our notes and tables that we can do there. So when I come into system, the first thing you'll see at the top is are the stages. So it can show you really graphically which stage we're in. So we've got payroll information, calculations, confirmation, and actually running the payroll. And at the minute, we're in the payroll information stage. This has been assigned to me. If there's multiple admins within your business, this might be assigned, each stage might be assigned to different people. And it's due for me on the 20th of March at midnight, sorry. And then you'll see here that at the top, you've got a reassign button. So if I've come in and I'm not able to perform this for whatever reason, I can reassign it. Our bureau members can also reassign tasks in the back. So if somebody is unexpectedly off sick that is assigned this task, or on holiday or anything like that, it can get reassigned to a new person in the business to make sure there's continuity in what we're doing. And then you've always got the big green button. It doesn't just say next. It does tell you on every stage of this what you are clicking next to, what you're agreeing to say that you've done. Then coming down, you'll see that I've got my pay date information. I've got the add button as came up in that pop-up. And right at the bottom, I've got a log of everything that's been said, everything's been done. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a note. So when I'm adding a note in PayCircle, everything that we do stays in system. So there's no email sent, nothing like that. So if I'm doing any personal information, something that should be protected by GDPR or any sort of information processing that you've got, it's all going to stay in system nice and safe. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to at my bureau admin, so the person that is doing my payroll. Now, when I set up this demo site, I didn't have the forethought to call the two people different things. So I am Francesca logging in from the company side, which is Francesca admin, and I'm also Francesca Owen as the bureau team member. So I apologise for that, but I can tag myself, I can tag my bureau member, and I can just say whatever I want to new team members this month, and then they are Sarah X and John Y. Now, if you're doing this and you've got PeopleHR as well, we did do another webinar which is available on demand, which you can see the integration works, and the integration does also work with our managed service as well. So if you're using PeopleHR, you wouldn't have to do this. You could just put it into PeopleHR and it'll come through, and at that point you might just say, please confirm they have been received via PeopleHR integration. And then when you're ready, you just click save, and that note will send an email to your bureau person saying that they've been mentioned within PayCircle and they need to log in to view what's been said to them. When I come down here, you can see that I've got a note that I've just put, and it's going to build up this conversational log. So when you've got replies, when you're adding things in, you can go through and make sure that things have been done, things have been actioned, you've mentioned everything you need to. The other thing that I can do through my notes section is I can come into notes and I can, again, I'm going to at my bureau team member, I'm going to say monthly upload attached. You might choose to be more cordial with your person, but for just expediency, and I can come into that then and I can attach a file. And this can be any of the formats here, Excel spreadsheets, PDF, CDF documents, zip files, etc. And you can upload information to us in exactly the same way. So I'm going to hit save, and in that information log at the bottom now, it's going to tell me that I've now added a file as well, and you can see that. So we're building up this conversational thread. You'll see that your messages are in pink, incoming messages are in blue, so you can really see who said what. With this log, you can go through and you can search by author, so I can see what did this person write, have I said this, for example. I can go through and see who's been mentioned, so anything that is specifically for me where I've been mentioned, I can quickly jump to all of those. Or if I'm looking for somewhere I mentioned somebody else, to make sure that I've actually tagged them to make sure it's been seen. You can also search through messages by word. So if I was looking for where I've just put in monthly, I've got monthly there, and it's just going to filter those down for me as well. And you can go from the newest to the oldest, or you can start and read in chronological order, whichever makes sense for you. But once you are happy that you've done everything that you need to within the system, you've added all that, or any information that's changed that month, and then you're going to come through and click I've added everything. As with any of these green buttons, it's always going to say, are you sure you've done everything? And then when you're happy, you're going to go in and hit complete. That's then said that the next contributor has been notified, and you'll see that now I've got a draft report to being prepared section on my screen. If I click onto that, it's going to now show that I've moved over into payroll calculation. This is assigned to the bureau, so your payroll person at Access Payroll Service is going to be doing your calculations at this stage, making sure that everything's done. So I'm just going to really quickly, like I say, I'm not importing anything, I'm not doing anything, I'm just rolling this through in the background so that we can move forward. And when this is done, I can show you the reporting that you're going to get as well. So lovely. So if I just refresh my screen, it'll emulate me logging in and logging back out again. And you can see that I've now got a new pop-up telling me what do I need to do, when do I need to do it by, and how am I going to do that. So in this stage, my draft reports are ready, so I can go in, I can look at the calculations that have been made, I can double check those, and I can then do a number of things. So this is now due by Friday the 21st of March, and I've got some options. So am I happy? Everything's right, it's all good. Or do I want to make any further changes? Do I need to query what's come back to me? So I'm looking, at something that doesn't seem quite right. Now, as I said at the beginning, all of our payroll bureau people are fully qualified, so they are the first pass in your payroll. So when it's coming back to you, if you're seeing things that you don't quite think are right, our bureau person has already had eyes on that and they've seen it. They might come back to you and say, I don't think this is quite right, or you might go back to them. But what that basically means is within the team of people that are looking after you, so there'll be a team of 3 to 4 payroll executives, which will be doing the payroll for you. Every single one of them is fully versed within your business, your company, your payroll. They understand what's going on. As part of the implementation, they create a Bible which has got all the information about your payroll, and they know how to run that from the Bible. If you're a larger company, you'll also have a named executive as well. So you'll have one person that is your named contact that you can go to straight away every single time, but you've still got the backup of the team of 3 to 4. So if that person is on holiday, not very well, you've still got someone you can talk to that knows exactly what they're talking about. So when I come back in here, you'll see now that it's moved on to payroll step 3. So I'm in the confirmation stage, and again, this is assigned to somebody at the company. I've got my buttons to query the reports, to approve the reports, but also still to reassign. So if I can't do this for any reason, or I want my FD to take a look at this after I've done, I can reassign that to them and they can then look at it as well. I'm scrolling down, it's going to give me a brief overview of what we've currently got. So my total salaries, my total tax and my pensions for the month, and we've got a set of standardized reports that I've got set up for this company. So if we just jump into one of the reports, you can see that as this loads, we can export this out to PDF, Excel, CSV. So if I want to work outside of system to check my reports, I want to apply any formulas or anything like that to it, I can download it and I can do that. I can also toggle this full screen, so I get rid of all of the bars and everything at the top. I can just look at my data. I can also filter this, so I can put in filters to search for a specific person, a specific department, for example, lots of different things. Let me just move myself out of the way. And you can filter that information down to make it easier to look at as well. And I can also start to pin columns. So if I'm looking for specific items, I can pin different items so that I can compare things across different columns as well, to make the assessment of my journals really, really simple. And that's the same with any of your reports that you're going to get through. I can still view my notes, so I can go in if I've spotted something. I go, oh, I did tell them about that. It is there. You can prove yourself right. And then when you're happy, you're going to come through again and click Approve Reports. And as always, you're going to pop up, are you sure you're happy with everything? At this point then, it's going to come back to the Bureau so that it's ready to be paid, so that we can process all of your pay slips, get everybody paid, do the back files, all those kind of things, and restart the next pay period. And once you've confirmed that, you'll see that you get your payroll will be run on the 21st of March. And we've got all of our reports still available to view. And I can go back at any stage as well to look at different things. So if you're looking at doing like comparison reports, you want to compare one month to the next, you might want to go in and look at the next one there as well. Yeah, boom. So that then will put it back in the hands of the Bureau, as I said, and your payroll will be run according to the dates that you set up in your welcome call as part of your implementation. Of course, if you want to change any of that, you can send us a note detailing anything that you need to change. Christmas is a nice example. You want to move your payday forward to a specific date, just let us know in a note. And that is a really, really brief overview of our managed service. If you've got any questions, please do type them into the chat buttons in the webinar. If you're watching this recorded on demand, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us, and we'll put the contact details on some slides coming up shortly.
So we've got some questions in, but just before I start going through those, on screen right now we've got the QR code. So if you want to continue this conversation, you want to find any more information, if you scan that code, then it will come directly through to us, and we can answer any other questions that you have. Or if you want to book a live demonstration as well, you want to go into this in more depth, just scan that code and we'll get that booked in for you. I'm sure Samuel will tell me if I'm wrong on this one, but we'll also reach out at some point shortly to everyone that's attended to see if they've got any further questions, just to follow up for any feedback. I do always appreciate it. If something's been missing or you really wanted to say something, then that's absolutely great too. Love all the feedback, any demo requests, anything like that, please scan the code. I will we'll start at the bottom because that's the first one that came in. So the first question says, what is the process for adding new employees or making changes to existing employee information in the payroll system? So the answer to this is two answers, and it depends on whether you're working with an integrated HR system or you're not working with integrated HR system. If you've got an integrated HR system, when you make those changes in your HR, so for example, PeopleHR, you can go in, you might update a employee's last name because they've got married, or you might update an address because they've moved. That information will automatically come through to the PayCircle system. If you're not working with an integrated HR system, then what we'll do is we'll provide you with a template that you can fill in, and you can add that in the import function within the notes. So two different ways of working, whether you're using an integrated system or you're not using an integrated system. The next question says, what measures does the payroll managed service provider take to ensure compliance with local tax regulations and laws? So with the system that we're using, the software, PayCircle actually contacts HMRC every single evening at midnight to download any new information about your employees' tax codes, any student loans repayments that have been made. It's going to stay up to date and be using that information in real time. So there's no getting that email from HMRC anymore that says there's been a change made to one of your employees. Please log in to view who that is and what's happened. That change will automatically be added into our payroll system directly from HMRC to stay up to date with absolutely everything. Of course, we're always developing the software for any new regulations that come in when we get new budgets and new tax years and things, and that gets automatically updated in the background. Pop-ups do appear in the bottom left-hand corner as well to say that when there's been an update, just to make sure that you're fully aware something's changed, and that then you know that we're on top of that as well, making sure everything is compliant. The next question says, does the payroll managed service provide access to self-service portals for employees to view their pay stubs, update personal information, or request time off? So again, two answers to this one. It's going to go down the line of, are you using an integrated service or are you using a non-integrated service? So non-integrated first, yes, PayCircle absolutely has its own employee portals, and they can register for a login where they can view all their pay slips, different P45s, P60s, all those documents that get stored in there as well, and that will all live within the PayCircle employee portal. If you're using an integrated system, we can change the items that get added and the permissions that an employee gets within the PayCircle employee portal, so that it makes them use the PeopleHR employee portal more, or the PeopleHR app more, because what you don't want to do is overwhelm employees, get them downloading so much stuff onto their phones. People generally aren't happy about that, and what we can actually do from PayCircle is upload all those documents into PeopleHR as well through when we're using that integrated system, because the PeopleHR system has a payslip uploader. So PayCircle will generate a bulk file of everybody's payslips. PeopleHR has a file splitter, and it'll split that down and upload every single individual's payslip to their PeopleHR account instead of using two different portals. So again, two different answers, whether using integrated system or using a non-integrated system for your managed payroll. And the last one says, how does pricing for managed payroll services work? So we charge per payslip, per pension produced. We're working on basically billing you for what your usage is in that month. There are setup fees as well, but generally what will happen if you've set us up with 20 employees, if you go up to 24, and then we'll charge you for 24 payslips that we've produced that month. If you go back down to 22, we'll charge you for 22. And it'll go up and down with the service that you've actually used. Those are all the questions that I've got in at the moment. If you've got any more, please do post them and we will get back to you. Of course, as well, use the code to scan, and I'll pass back over to Sandra if she's got any last parts to add.
Thank you, Francesca. Yeah, just as Francesca's mentioned, you can scan this code. I'll also send out an email to you guys with a link to Watch Us Back on Demand. And again, you can reach out via that email if you've got any questions or comments that you want to pass over to Francesca. But with that, thanks very much for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.